I'm not lying to you when I say that I quite literally know everyone who is in this movie, pretty much, that I saw. Like, background people included. It was kind of satisfying and kind of annoying in an equal sense. Dune Part 2 is once again directed by Denis Villeneuve and has the returning cast of Timothée Chalamet, Zendaya, Josh Brolin, Rebecca Ferguson, Javier Bardem, and more, and stars newcomer stars like Austin Butler, Florence Pugh, Christopher Walken. Dune 2 picks up exactly where Dune left off. Paul Atreides and his mother are now with the Fremen after the massacre of his family, and he is seeking revenge, while the Fremen people seem to be split between knowing if he's this messiah or either a false prophet. Meanwhile, the Harkonnen have a new villain that arises, and terror and war is close on the horizon, with factions and conspiracies everywhere. I am late on this review. I am glaringly so. But you know what? It's okay, and I felt like I would feel bad, worse than I already do, if I didn't talk about this movie, because it's had so much praise and so much talk about it. People are saying it's the Empire Strikes Back of our generation. It's the highest rated film on IMDb at the moment. People are saying it's one of the greatest films ever made. The beginning of a new trilogy, and expectations were through the roof to see it. And I was like, it's not living up to them. And I went to see them, and honestly, I was right. This movie is terrible. Like, none of the praise it's getting is deserved. It's just genuinely one of the most... Psych! Got you! You thought I was being serious. I love Dune Part 2. This movie is why cinemas exist. This is why you should see things in the theater. This is why movies are made, is for this very purpose. This movie is epic and grand in every sense of the word. Every penny of that $190 million budget is on screen at all times. It is constantly just a glorious pleasure to be just absolutely enhanced, and just, it's gorgeous. The score in here by Hans Zimmer is by far the winner yet again. The original Dune, that was my favorite part. Once again, it carries so well. The love theme in here by Hans Zimmer is heartbreaking, yet emotional, yet very relaxing and ambient. It's just amazing. And the score for everything in here and the themes and motifs for the music, glorious. All the performances in here throughout are incredible. I'd say Timothée Chalamet is a standout in here. He has this whole thing where his character has to go through an arc, and without any spoilers, after certain events take place, he becomes a different kind of character than we are used to seeing him in the first movie, and it's just mesmerizing to see on screen. Austin Butler is phenomenal in here. Every time he was on screen, he's pretty much the only person I was looking at. I was like, wow. Like, I didn't think the guy who played Elvis was going to become one of the greatest character actors of our time. I was very worried about where his career could go after that. But with this and Masters of the Air, this guy's just being so good. In fact, this movie could have just been called Willy Wonka versus Elvis. You could do this with pretty much all of the actors in here because they're all so very famous. I love what they did in here. There's just so much more fleshing out of the world, and we get to see a new part of it. And everything's so well done. The cinematography is gorgeous. Scale is done so well in here, and the visual effects are basically invisible. Like, it looks like you're just seeing things take place, but you don't feel like you're ever watching CGI, which is such a compliment. That worm stuff in here, the magic drink that Timothée Chalamet's mom, Rebecca Ferguson, drinks and stuff, and they want him to drink. You know what? I'm just from now on going to say that's the blue Mountain Dew. If we drink that, we'll all be that way. And the thing is, it helps her with visions, and she's telling Paul, you need to drink this. You need to have it. It's going to open your eyes. You're going to see so much. You'll see the past and the future. And he's like, no, because you're acting kind of crazy ever since you've had it. She's like, no, you need it. You know what? The one takeaway, if you're going to take one thing away from Dune, is always remember this. Doing drugs makes you omnipotent. I guess you could take that away if you wanted to, but don't take me, I didn't say that. Don't take that word from me. But honestly, everyone here, Rebecca Ferguson is very spooky with her performance, very dark and twisted. I love everything in here with that, the lore and the backstory and what they're building towards. Dude, I can't wait for the third film of this trilogy. I can't say enough good about it. Like, genuinely, my head is swimming trying to, like, just talk about this and express how I feel after experiencing this film, and just the choreography, everything. It's just so wonderfully done. A large part of also what really sells this movie is the religious aspects to it, and Paul battling if he is or isn't this prophet, this chosen messiah in this universe. The love story is a big part of this movie, and they really sell it. I bought into it. It's so good. This is such a well-made series so far, and it sets up everything perfectly. I do think it's funny, though, that at this point, these movies are so good that basically Denis Villeneuve can just kind of get people to cameo. Like, literally, Anya Taylor-Joy's in here for, like, 10 seconds to turn around and go away, and Léa Seydoux in here for a few minutes, and then Florence Pugh's in here for a few minutes, and Christopher Walken's in here for a few minutes, and they're just kind of all gone. Like, that's crazy that you can get someone to do that. That's how good these films really are. Like, this is next level. It's a blockbuster, and it's deep, and it's huge, and it's just, every movie ends on that just right cliffhanger, and I can't wait to see what we get next. My only small complaints I have is I'm not a big fan of the Christopher Walken casting of the Emperor in here. I think it's a little off. It doesn't quite blend with the world and everyone else that's kind of inhabiting that. Other thing is, I'm not a big fan of how Dave Bautista's character is taken in here. Other than that, no issues. This movie is fantastic. You never feel how long it is. The pacing is brilliant. There's so many epic things, like when Paul's got the sandworm, and the way they just, Paul's character arc that he's going to go in here, that when you see it, is so brilliant. I can't wait for the next one. Everything about this film is excellent. And it's just the kind of things that we need nowadays, are people making films like this at this scale. So let's please all support this film. Let's go out and see it in the theater. See it in the biggest screen you can. Immerse yourself in it. You won't regret it. I'm going to give Dune 2 a 9 out of 10. So thank you guys, as always, so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I'll see y'all next time.